Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's January the 18th, Wednesday, 2 days from the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump, soon to be President Trump. If you wonder about my 2+2 news and commentary video here, that's just a preference of mine, is to keep myself as anonymous as possible in my videos. We're living in troubled times, and I do have a 17-year-old, so I want to be as anonymous as possible when I do these things, because I do have some points of view that may be different from a lot of people. And to be quite honest with you, there are a lot of crazies running around out there right now. I don't know where people's minds have gone, to be honest with you. I know where mine went. It's a combination of age and a combination of some other things, but I know where mine went. But where has the supposed to be reasonable, rational people been coming from for the past year? I just don't get it. But anyway, like I said, it's January 18th, 2 days from the inauguration, and this is 2+2 news and commentary. One piece of information I'm getting this morning is that the Beach Boys will perform at the inauguration, and they will headline. And I think that's wonderful news. Yay, Beach Boys. Couldn't think of a better act to do it. In fact, I saw the Beach Boys live in concert about 25, 30 years ago, and they were great then, and I'm sure they'll be great now. So that's a good piece of news. Also, yesterday on the 17th, Tuesday the 17th, Vladimir Putin weighed in on how he felt about these allegations of Russian interference in our presidential electoral system. And notice I said alleged. He said that the people who are weaponizing these false reports and weaponizing all this false propaganda against President-elect Trump are worse than prostitutes. And he said their prostitutes over there are good. But, however, he doesn't think that President-elect Trump would fall for them. Now, look, folks, it's time to face the facts. Hillary Clinton lost this election because she was a flawed candidate. Seriously. I couldn't vote for her, and like I told you before, I am, as of now, a recovering ex-Democrat. And then I started listening to President-elect Trump's policies and really listening to the man. He shoots from the hip. If he's punched, he's going to punch back. We knew this about him from the get-go. It's him, it's his personality, it's how he was raised. But, you know, someone can have that character, and that does not make them a bad person. They can still have a good heart. And on the other hand, someone can present themselves as an angel of light. And every time they look straight into a camera, they can lie without blinking an eye. Doesn't even matter if they get caught lying. Doesn't even matter if what they're saying makes any sense, as long as they can squeeze out of it. And that person, even though they present themselves as an angel of light, can have a heart as evil as sin. And I believe that's what we're dealing with here. You know, Donald Trump has a good heart. The people who are not going to give him a chance, who vow to fight him, if he says black, they're going to say white. If he says white, they're going to say black. They're not even going to listen to the policy. It doesn't matter what the policy is. All you people going before the Senate trying to get confirmed all of Mr. Trump's wonderful picks, and they are wonderful picks. These Democrats that are asking you these questions, trying to lead you and goad you into some sort of response that they want you to give, just ignore them. It does not matter what you say. Any way that you give your answer, they're going to weasel in an attack somehow, because that's what we're going to be dealing with for the next 4 years. If he says stop, they're going to say go. If he turns around immediately and says go, they're going to immediately say stop. That's what we're dealing with. It's the mindset. It's the brain. It's gone. Makes me wonder if demons have infested the brains of the Democrats. Please. Every time I get on here, I get started. I'm very sorry. But this election has become a thorn in my side when I see just what our government officials are capable of doing. And what's even worse, they've been screwing us for 53 years. Okay? They found out 53 years ago that they could shoot a president down dead like a dog in the street and get away with it and have their way. And ever since then, we have had presidents planted, not elected. Well, guess what? Mr. Trump is elected, and these people are scrambling like somebody lit a firecracker to their ass, okay? You can see it every day. Turn on the news. For God's sakes, don't listen to CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC. Come on the internet and go to the Alex Jones channel. The conspiracy theorists, or in other words, the ones who tell the truth. Listen to Alex Jones. Listen to Gary Franchi on the Next News Network. Listen to, there's several real good ones that I listen to. And I always get correct information. And if I don't, I know how to distinguish between fake news and true news. These people insult my intelligence. I ain't real smart. I used to be. But, I got older. I had to deal with a disability that has, I'm on medication, which sometimes causes me to be foggy. But I'm not stupid, okay? And so when I have seen what the government has been capable of, it makes me sick. I have children and grandchildren. I would like for them to have a country to grow up in. Don't blow up my damn country, people. Dumbasses. But anyway, sorry. I do get my frustrations out on here. Anyway, Mr. Putin, I agree with you. They are worse than prostitutes. Hey, to me, they're not even as good as prostitutes. They equate more to a whore. Now, moving on to this Democratic Senator John Lewis. And, I respect him as a civil rights activist back in the 60s. I certainly respect what he went through for what he believes in. There are a lot of us willing to go through a lot for what we believe in, and he did, and he's truly a hero for that. But, that does not make him immune from criticism. And now, Mr. Trump has given an interview, and the interviewer asked about Mr. Lewis saying that he's never missed an inauguration before, which is in fact false. Turns out that Mr. Lewis was mistaken when he said he'd never boycotted another inauguration. He actually did back in 2002, I think it was, when George Bush was elected. He didn't go to that inauguration. He neglected to tell us that. In fact, he went so far as to say he'd never missed an inauguration before this one. Okay, so we caught him in a falsehood. And so Mr. Trump replied to the interviewer, yeah, he says, how do you forget if you've been to an inauguration? He said, you don't forget an inauguration. And Donald Trump is right. I don't believe that Mr. Lewis forgot that he did not attend George Bush's inauguration either. I don't think he forgot that. I think he conveniently left that out of the equation. I'm with Mr. Trump on this. We knew Mr. Trump strikes from the hip and fights back when he's punched. We knew this when we elected him. That's what we wanted. Good for you, President-elect Donald Trump. But another thought occurred to me after listening to a few of my real news stations on the internet. What if all these Democrats, congressmen, senators that have decided to join him in not attending the inauguration, what if they're not going because perhaps they know something's going to happen? Has that occurred to anybody? Are they in on some sort of plan? Or have they just maybe caught wind of it? They don't have specific knowledge of it or anything. It's just kind of drifted by. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just saying, what if? Do you suppose it could be? I think that in the climate that we currently find ourselves in, the political climate, I think that is something that bears investigation. And I think that an investigation into several members of Congress and Senate is warranted because of the effort and the level of pushback that Mr. Trump has gotten during this campaign. And I tell you what, I'll be one of the first to go ahead and do whatever I can to ensure that we push for an investigation of Congress and Senate if we have to, because this is getting ridiculous. There needs to be an investigation on some of these people, news sources included. It's not normal. Something isn't right. People, 2 + 2 = 4. Thank you.